It's the COD.
Episode episode 20.
You know what
It's a
it is.
milestone. Big
Hey,
2-0.
hey 2-0, just like 2020. It's your boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ryan and Paul.
Hey, Paul and Ryan coming back, man.
Back.
Back in effect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey,
We,
first,
we you know, we offer two guests. This is solo pod right after, two guests. So as you can see, Paul got the merch on right now, Care
come on
Pack
now.
2.
Hey,
We
shout out
had
to
the
our
homie
sponsors. Shout out to the
yes, sir.
sponsors.
Shout out to the sponsors. Yes, sir.
You
We
feel
had the
me?
homie Cook Up Cam here a few episodes ago talking
Yeah,
about what he did on the project. Shout out Cook Up.
yeah, shout
We
out to
looking
them.
forward to You Already Snow getting back on the IG airwaves.
Hey,
So,
man.
when that goes down.
Hey,
And last episode, we had Georgette speaking on the election. And now we've come to you after a decision has been made. So election day went down, and the 3 days preceding after that also went down. But yesterday morning, they officially elected president, or president-elect is what they call him right now. They officially elected Biden.
yeah,
So yeah, man, it was partying in the streets, as I was saying earlier.
absolutely.
You know,
And I mean, you know what, man? And rightfully so, man. The first uh black, the first Indian, the first
yes, sir.
multicultural, the first woman vice president of the United States of America. Absolutely a momentous occasion.
Yes,
Absolutely,
sir.
absolutely something that should be celebrated. Congratulations to Biden and
Shout out
Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala Harris for sure. Howard alumni. Man, you know, this is American politics at its best. This is democracy. There was no fudging of the vote count. There was no, you know, there was no foul play as far
No
as,
fraud.
yeah, exactly, as far as the experts can see. So congratulations to them. This, like I said, this is American politics. Um, Man, we kind of gotta cover Trump's kind of rhetoric, right? He is claiming that there was foul play at hand. He is
Yeah,
claiming
of course.
that the election was stolen. I
Of
don't buy it.
course.
I don't buy it. And
No.
I'm
No.
gonna say this to everybody out there. This is American democracy. Just like he got elected in 2016, man, and he won with grace. He needs to take this L with grace in 2020. I mean, he lost, period. You know, it was a close race.
Yeah.
It's not like he didn't have support. He has support, and everybody saw that he had support. So, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, shout out to him, shout out to his supporters. But man, show a little decency, right? Show a little
Yep.
professionalism as an American and as an American businessman and politician, and concede with honor. You know, don't try to rile up the followers, the blind followers that you have to try to incite violence and incite pretty much, I mean, let's call it what it is, treason within the United States. It's like, yeah, you know, now you want them to get at the officials who are monitoring the polls. Now you want them to beef with, you know what I'm saying? The beef with the government over who was elected fairly through election, through mail-in ballots, and through the actual polls. Like, come on, man. Like,
It's the last hurrah, man.
yeah,
It's the
stop.
last hurrah because, like, he's never really shown class or decorum. So in the final hours, that's what you wish. It's like I was telling my friend the other day because it was actually wild. Like, I didn't expect. I mean, I knew it was a big thing, right? These 4 years of Trump. And I was telling my homie, I was like, look, bro, it feels weird because it's like 4 years every single day, 24 hours a day. You can turn on the news and somebody was saying Trump, whether he tweeted something, whether it was an executive order, a new policy, he mocked somebody else. It was Trump. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 years straight.
Facts.
So, like, you could never, relax during his term. And it was always like, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen tomorrow? Like, it was always like somebody was in danger, So like I understood the feeling of emotion of, yo, we finally got this guy out of here.
Mm.
Not like we're super happy for Biden or whatever.
Right.
You know, shout out to Biden, all due respect. It was more so like, yo, we're finally done with Trump. But I still didn't take into account, what that meant, because obviously, like we were saying earlier, people were storming the streets. But just the fact that my friend hit me up to, hop on a Zoom call, it was like a Super Bowl was won or like an award was won or something like that. It was like, this is really a momentous occasion.
Absolutely.
On my wall, I got the Chicago Tribune of the day after the Cubs World Series. So like in 2016, the actual newspaper I think says November 5th. I'm looking at it right now. So like right around that time, 4 years ago to now, it looked like that to me. Like if the Cubs won, people was outside. I mean, the fact, like I said, it's just so wild the fact that somebody called me just to be like, yo, let's talk about this. It's
Right.
some history. We're going to speak to our kids about the Trump era,
Right.
the 4 years that we had to endure. Hopefully it's only 4. But, it was like, shit, man. People reached out. There was like, yo, what's up? And it was a momentous occasion. Like I tried to paint the picture earlier. 4 years, bro, of just that going each and every day. So I understand the need and the want and the desire of people who are like, yo, Trump, just take this L gracefully, bow out. That's what we all want. That's usually what goes on, your concession speech, concede.
Right.
It never usually takes this long. But here we are. They're trying to litigate, obviously, to no avail. And then it's just going to come to the day where, concession or not, the keys are going to be handed over.
Facts.
And, you're going to be dragged out of there. So unless you want to be dragged out on TV,
Yeah.
that's just what's going to happen. So it's like, it would be great if he can concede, but it's like, yo, this is Trump we're speaking about.
Right.
The whole 4 years, I don't know if there was one moment of grace.
Yeah.
Because like even he made fun of McCain, the whole prisoner of war thing, and
Out of
it was
order.
crazy because
Out of
yeah,
order.
and it was crazy because a big thing that I had mentioned your name, to when people were bringing this up, Trump was talking about military votes. He was like, "Where's the military votes? We're still waiting on that." Philadelphia is like, we're waiting on 8,000 military votes to come in. And, they came in and they were overwhelmingly for Biden, the military votes. I'm pretty sure they were overwhelmingly for Biden.
Right.
But that all goes back to not only his disrespect of McCain, but he did disrespect the military way more recently by saying something about anybody who dies or gets shot in war is a loser.
It's a loser.
So
Yeah.
I'm telling people, yeah, I know you weren't in the Army, but it was like, yo, I had a homie who was in the Navy. I could imagine somebody saying that about him. Like, you're not going to take that lightly.
No.
So, like, how do you expect to get votes talking like that? And then even before he said that, you remember when Kyle Rittenhouse was in the street shooting people, and you reposted on your story one of your homies talking about, y'all better calm this down. This is our home. We go out there to fight. So you want us to strap up at home? You want us to strap up at home, put our fatigues on, and walk outside and deal with what y'all got going on? Y'all better handle this out before we do. So I'm sure people spoke from McCain's situation to that situation to the most recent situation. It was just, it's disrespect all around. So
Yeah, he lost it, man. At the end of his presidency, at the end of his campaign, man, he lost all bearings of what being a president, what being a stand-up American was, man. And that's why, and it reflected in the polls, period.
Yeah.
Just like you commented earlier, congratulations to Biden and Kamala Harris. But yay, I'm gonna read a quote, man. It says, "Success is never owned; it is rented, and rent is due every day." So even though they won, right? Congratulations to them. We want to see
They got to
results.
still work. They got to still work.
We
I
want to see
mean, we
results.
said this. Yeah, we said this a few months ago, weeks ago. We were like, the big thing with getting Biden in there, I'm pretty sure we all had somebody else other than Biden who we might have voted for during the primary.
Yeah, exactly.
I voted for Bernie. I know, there is a lot of other people who are voting for Elizabeth Warren. Some people voted for Kamala. But, Biden was one of those things like, okay, he's probably going to cast the widest net. He's not the most progressive. He's not this. He's not that. A lot of things that people had, come down on Bernie for, you couldn't really use that against Biden. So I understood he was, he's probably the candidate who could cast the widest net. But with that being said, it was like, all right, we picked you and you're the person who we're going to throw our support behind, but don't get it twisted. It's not like you're going to win and it's going to be, like you said, it's just going to be a callback to the decorum in the class of, earlier politicians. And then we're going to forget. That's what a lot of people want. A lot of people want us to forget. But it's one of those things where it's like, cool, we got you in office because you're somebody who we can speak to and we can negotiate with and have a civil conversation with. But it's one of those things where we're going to keep your foot to the fire. We're not just going to, the last 4 years, if anything, got a lot of people, involved in politics. So we're still going to be involved. We're still going to keep our eye on you. We're still going to make sure you do things for those communities that voted for you. Still address police brutality, still address inequality. It's not like, oh,
Exactly.
Obama's back in the office. Let's be quiet now and chill. Like, nah,
Exactly.
there's still things going on in the background and shit. You could still be, speaking to Biden, he could still be corrupt. We don't know.
Exactly.
Everyone's a politician at the end of the day. So I think, one thing that we're going to leave the Trump era with is healthy skepticism. It's not all, blind trust. It's like, hey, bro, yeah, we voted for you, but we're going to make sure you do your job.
Exactly.
What's up?
And just like you said, these last couple of years have kind of showed people, especially people who weren't involved politically previously, that they need to be involved politically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just not on the. And this is the thing, right? Just like we talked about in our previous podcast with Georgette, it's not just the presidential level, because the president is only one arm of the political system. There's a legislative,
Exactly.
there's a judicial, and not only is that on the federal level, it's on the state level as well, right? You got
Mm-hmm.
you got the executive, who is the governor. You have
Yeah.
legislative, who is your local senators and your local
Mm-hmm.
representatives.
You got
Um,
judges to vote for.
you feel me? Who all affect your policy, who
Yes.
affect your
Yeah.
taxes, who affect the allocation of resources for schools, for different things like that in your community. Like, everybody needs to be involved, bro, and it all comes with
Yeah.
being educated on what's going on around you. So, man, yeah. To your point, like, man, this is 2020. Amidst COVID, has been also an awakening politically, I think, for man, not just the millennials, but what I'm saying, a number
The
of different
Zoomers,
groups.
yeah, the younger than us, like the people who, the generation under us, they're paying attention, they're staying focused, they're staying up to date. So I think it's good, man, that we enter this new decade just still on it. It's one of those things where, if you had something to say about Obama, now's your chance to, you know, keep on Biden.
Exactly.
Don't let this term pass, or if he gets another term, don't let these, 1 or 2 terms pass, and then Biden actually did this, this, and this. Well, You had 4 or 8 years to, you know, hold the fire to his feet. So do that. Pay attention to everything he's doing. Hold him accountable. Hold Kamala accountable. If they make, a cabinet decision that you don't like, speak up, say something. So, yeah, man, I think, we can enter an era where it's not so volatile outside, but people are still getting involved and making their voice heard. So,
Absolutely, and that voice should be heard.
yeah,
Um,
man, I think we're at a good age or a good spot right now for politics. Hopefully we can start healing, man, because there's still a lot of people out here, like you said, there's still a lot of people who voted for Trump. So
yeah,
they're not
absolutely.
going to magically, shut up. A lot of people think, okay, we're going to go back to decency, which I think we are, because obviously when you have somebody in the office like Trump, he's like, it's weird, bro. It's like no one can dictate your life, but when you have a leader in office like that, people feel compelled or they feel empowered. So it's like if you are a regular racist, right? And what is a regular racist? But just go work with me. If you are or somebody who's racist, right? And then all of a sudden Trump's in office, you might feel empowered to just speak up on your racist thoughts or notions.
Yeah, you're
And once
empowered
you
to say that shit in regular.
exactly just to act out. So once
Yeah,
you start acting out a little bit and there's no consequences, and you start to see police acting out, this person acting out, someone in the workplace acting out, and then laws and policies start getting passed which make it you know okay to discriminate in certain ways, say like the bathroom law, or say like there were hiring laws that were like you can discriminate based on religion, this and that. There were certain things passed where it was making it okay for you to systemically, like we were talking about, systemically say, okay, I'm not going to hire you, I'm not going to allow you in my establishment, I'm not going to do this.
exactly.
So yeah, I mean, just because Biden is elected doesn't mean that there aren't any more racists.
Yeah,
But I guess the notion is that these people will quiet down. But within the last 4 years, if you have ousted yourself as one of those racists, I'm not going to forget.
hey man, it's the day of
There
reckoning.
are a lot of people who are Republicans. There's a lot of people who say they support Trump or they supported Trump, and they like to sit there and say, I'm just a Republican. Okay, but there are a lot of things that you looked over to support Trump. And I don't think people are going to forget that. So it's going to be one of those things like, bro, you were a Trump supporter for those 4 years. Don't think I forgot.
Right.
I don't care if you're a Republican, if you're conservative, if, you got ideas about, spending and fiscal policy.
Yeah. But to that point too, like
But once you
even
start,
even as of
infringing
late,
rights, yeah,
even as of late, with him coming out talking about the election was a fraud and all this fraudulent stuff, man, a lot of Republicans stepped away from him, bro. A lot of
yeah,
Republicans.
yeah,
I mean, and if I could speak on one of them, the former chairman of the RNC, Michael Steele, right,
yeah,
Black Cat. He straight stepped away. He said, "Man, that's ludicrous. Like I don't know what
yeah,
dude is talking about." You know what I'm saying? So it's and talking to numerous people, man, I feel like it's the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, man. I think there's a reckoning coming, man. I think that new parties are going to emerge out of these two parties, with different values, with different views based on the workforce today. Because let's not get it confused, right? It's people our age who are the leaders in these companies now, who are the working force now. You see what I'm saying? And unfortunately, a lot of people, Kamala Harris got thrown in there, but a lot of people feel like both candidates didn't reflect what our value was in the first place, regardless of which side you're on. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we're
yeah,
just we're just
yeah,
forced we're just forced to pick a side. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, man, where it's like we're at a crossroads politically in America right now, where it's like, man, the old guard is kind of getting pushed out. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, a lot of people are Trumpers Republicans. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a question, because it's like, man, like nobody really thought Trump was going to win in 2016, but he did. You know, because people voted for Trump because they just didn't like Hillary. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of that going on, but that's because of the two-party system. You see what I'm saying? It's either you pick one or the other. So, man, maybe we need another party. Maybe we need two more parties, right? Maybe we need shit.
Hey, man,
maybe we need Michelle Obama to run under the Green Party and change the whole game. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, cuz. Hey, man, one day, man, one day. I feel like, look, man, Trump happening, it still kind of didn't change a lot. You know what I mean? Because, like, I guess
I get it.
One thing is, and it took people for such a loop, man. It took people for such a loop. Like, think about it. You have his supporters who love him because, it's like he's Teflon, or he was Teflon. Like, anything he did, it didn't matter how bad it was. It was just he kept moving on. He kept going. Their support was unmatched, unwavered. No one got upset with him.
Exactly.
And then you have, us on the other side who hear it, and it's like, well, there, the rationalization was, well, maybe this era is destroy and rebuild, because no one can clearly look at this and think it's normal. So we have to rebuild it. But, with Biden going back, it's like, all right, man, like, are we going back to the two-party, to the, regular status quo? It's like, did anything really get burned down to the ground like that? Like, figuratively, because obviously, literally, you did have some cities get burned down to the ground because of, civil unrest and whatnot. But, it's wild. Like, even with everything that Trump put us through, you would think, right? Like, yeah, let's get a three-party system or a multi-party system, so you can bring new ideas out there, bring fresh ideas, shake things up, put the RNC and DNC on their toes, so everybody can really truly support the people who are voting for them.
Hey, man, I got comment on this.
It's a long time away, bro.
Hey.
They're gonna fight to the death to keep it two parties.
Bro. I seen a police officer, right? I won't name no names out of respect, but I seen a police officer, and you know what? It's not just one of them; it's numerous of them. People that I know personally who posted, Trump lost the election, and you don't see cities getting burnt.
Like, yeah, I've seen that.
Hey, man, let's get this out here right now. Let's clear this up right now, and I'm gonna tell you this: shut the fuck up. All right.
Exactly.
Politics has nothing to do with civil unrest. Politics has nothing to do with Black people getting killed and targeted by law enforcement. Are you guys for real? So you're comparing Trump getting elected to Black men and women getting gunned down.
But hold on. Let's back it up. Because man. I just told you. November 5th, 2016, I got on my wall at last.
Right.
The Cubs, 2016, winning after 100-something years. It doesn't have to be a story like that for people to burn down their cities regularly. I was in Chicago when they won. I was standing outside of Wrigley Field when they won. And I seen kids climb light poles and hang on them and bring them down. I seen people kick down stop signs. I seen people
flip cars.
Exactly. Yeah. Flip cars. Damn near police cars too. So I seen that happen in the street. I seen that. Come on, cuz, like, I know this is 2020, so we haven't seen it, but like, anytime a city wins a championship, do those riots not, are those just happy riots or what? A riot is a riot. People go wild for their sports teams when they win a championship, and what is it? Just swept under the rug?
Swept under the rug, bro.
Like I don't think we have to. I don't think we have to be sociologists out here to tell people how these things go down. I don't think if somebody gets killed, tomorrow, you and me are gonna, pick up a brick and a Molotov cocktail and be like, "This is what we got to do." It's like them things always start. If you need a refresher course, them things always start as a protest, and it's like it's a death. It's a human life that was lost unjustly. It didn't have to go down like that.
Exactly.
So those things start as a protest. Your emotions are already high. And like I said, bro, it's like, and these protests obviously are against the police force. They're against a few political figures who this might not look good for. We've been in this nation long enough where we've seen the CIA declassify things. This is not even a conspiracy. They've declassified things about how they've taken down movements, how they've gone and handled things. It doesn't even have to be the CIA anymore. Like you can go to a protest for something that you don't believe in and just cause havoc. You don't
Right.
have to be part of the CIA. You don't think that happens, especially with Black Lives Matter and how much is riding on those notions and that slogan? Come on, like you can go out there and have all the emotion in the world. It'd be mad tense, especially during Trump era. All it takes is for one person to throw a brick. Once one
Right.
person throws a brick, it's pandemonium. You don't know who threw the brick. You don't know what danger is coming to you. All you heard is glass break. People start running. You don't want to get stampede while people are running and everything's going crazy and the cops can only focus on, their little bubble. If a window's broken for a store and some people are climbing in there, human nature, there's going to be some people who are saying, you know what, I'm going to get out of here. But there's other people who are going to say, you know what, that's a lick. I'm out of work right now. Let me hop in there and get something and dip. I might not be a criminal. I might not be an anarchist, but I've been out here. I'm hungry. I see people taking some free stuff. I could sell this. I mean, it's just so much things with human nature that can just turn a protest into something like that.
Yeah.
Mad quick.
And,
Mad quick.
and and exactly what you're saying is what I'm saying. Don't let right. You can't compare apples to oranges, bro. Right? Just because somebody lost in an election doesn't mean you can try to discredit a movement that was based on real facts, on real happenings and real oppression, which has happened throughout American history, right? Don't
Mm-hmm.
try to compare one thing to the other when they have nothing to do with each other. I don't
Y'all
want
want
to.
look,
I don't
bro.
want
They
to
want
see
to
that.
talk about that, but they forgot the fact that we have uh we have a virus out here that's still taking lives at a pretty fast rate. And the one thing they told us that could help is to wear a mask.
Facts.
So don't tell me that, oh, you don't burn down a city when you protest a mask mandate and you showed up to a city hall with AK-47s, multiple people over a mask. What were you gonna do? You were gonna gun down people walking out of there or something, or were
Right.
you just taking those guns to scare people? I remember that same group had done like a standoff in front of police and was like sneezing and coughing in their face. So what's that? You're two steps away from burning down a city.
And that's it. And that's it, bro.
I
I mean,
mean, do we forget about what Charleston when they ran somebody over? You want to talk about Antifa, but somebody ran somebody from Antifa over. The tiki torches, weren't they storming through town with tiki torches?
Tiki
You could have
torch,
easily dropped a tiki torch and burned the whole town down.
Tiki
Like,
torch boy.
let's stop playing, bro. Let's stop playing, man. Like,
Yeah, like you said, they're gonna push whatever agenda they want to push, man, and try to twist it for however they want to twist it. But we just need to keep focused on what's happening, and
exactly.
just like he lost in 16. I mean, just like he won in 16, he lost in 2020, and that's it, bro. That's it. Bow out
Yep.
gracefully and let's move
That's
forward.
it. That's
That's
it.
it, and that's
That's
it.
it, man.
And, and,
Good
and
luck,
you
bro.
And you talking about COVID, man. You talking about the masks and stuff in these gatherings, man. I don't know if did you watch
Hey,
how
I know where you're going. I know
yeah,
where you're
yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Um,
LeBron.
LeBron, he's snitching out here. He was a little upset. Was it who was it, bro? Who was it? Was
It
it
was
Notre Dame?
it was Notre Dame versus Clemson. Big game, bro. Clemson was what, 7-0.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame was 6-0. But besides that fact, Notre Dame ended up beating Clemson. But what happened is that there was
The
like
fans stormed.
yeah, it was like 5,000 students who stormed onto the field, bro,
Yeah.
and gave like the traditional we huddle up, jumping up and down and victory dance. But the thing is like, whoa, 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 it's a pandemic out here.
You know,
So other sports
LeBron,
want
big bro, LeBron has his eyes.
yeah. Other sports out here weren't allowed to have what? Fans. They had the
Yeah.
quarantine, they had the bubbles, right? Which we talked
They
about
have
in
the
previous
bubbles, they
episodes.
quarantined,
Yeah, yeah.
um, they distanced or they had minimal fans. Football is one of these sports right now that like they're able to have more fans than the average sport because they have these big um stadiums that are, outdoor for the most part or have no roof. So
Exactly.
if you can socially distance in the stands, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? Like they got 40% of the crowd
Yeah,
in
I think like 30 or 40,
stadiums.
30 or 40%. I'm not sure if they work like the NFL where
It's
they have
still a lot of people when you look at it. It's
yeah,
like, all right, there's nobody in the bubble when you're talking about basketball. You have your family, you got staff, you got your other teammates, um, and you have everybody from Microsoft Teams show up on a screen. It's wild for baseball that they're not doing what NFL is doing because they're outdoor for the most part.
right.
But right now, MLB I think still has cardboard cutouts of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you look at football and they're putting people in the stands, socially distanced. That still is going to add up to a lot of people. And just like we're talking about human nature, man, especially with students, that
Yeah, yeah.
emotion overtakes them. So it's not like they were allowed to. Let's not like LeBron got to like I said, he was snitching. He had his eye on there, and he wanted to speak quick and say, we didn't have any fans, but Notre Dame they partying on the field. Like they're not allowed to be partying on the field. But once the field gets stormed, who's going to
Who's gonna
who's going to
stop them? Who's
regulate?
gonna pull them
Yeah,
off? Yeah,
exactly. Because now you're putting yourself in danger getting close to them. You're gonna
exactly.
just sit there and get on your megaphone and be like, "All right, stop it, guys." But like, it's already going down. Which earlier I made the comparison of the Biden stuff. Like, are you really supposed to be out in the street like that? Like, it's one thing if you protest; they really can't stop you protesting legally because that's what in the
Constitution.
Constitution,
Yeah.
your legal right. So even though they advise against protesting and stuff, they can't really stop it. So it's one of those things where like if you want to be that person who says, well, COVID, but we have protests. It's like, look, there's a legal right to why people can be out there, And then when people storm the streets for Biden, it's just like, storming the field. Like, how are you going to stop people? They're
Right.
already out there. So, LeBron, bro, the shit already happened. You got your title. We heard your speech where you said that you deserve respect. But, respect is not going to be given when you're snitching. So,
Yeah, man, and that's how I kind of felt,
relax.
bro. It's like, because when I saw it, yeah, relax, right? When I saw it, though, like, I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you. I didn't even think about that. I saw them storming the field, and I was just like, damn, Notre Dame just won a huge game, right? But then,
Yeah.
boom, hours later, I look on a tweet, boom, LeBron, you know, geez, I guess people can storm the field, huh? But we can't have nobody. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn. I'm like, I mean, he got a point, right? I couldn't be. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
COVID-19 cases are rising. Yeah, we got to be careful. True, PPE 6 feet apart. But then I
Yeah.
thought to myself, like, man, is my man just being petty? Because that seems like kind of like, you know what I mean? He's a student.
He's being a little petty, man, because like, look, it's COVID-19. Regardless of what you want, it's science.
Right,
So, 6 feet, bro. Like a big part of why football is able to have those people, like we were saying, is no roof.
right,
A big thing with these protests, people want to talk about COVID, but like with these protests, scientifically, they said they studied the protests during, the Black Lives Matter stuff, the George Floyd. They studied those protests, and COVID did not spread at those protests because not only are you outside, but you're constantly moving. It's not
right.
like you just stood up in one spot.
And
Your
people were
protest started.
constantly masked up too. They had the mask on.
Yes, they still had masks on outside. They
Right,
started from one area and they walked to another area. They're outside. That's why you can sit down and eat outside. Whereas in the bubble, you're not playing outside.
right.
You're playing inside. So
Mm-hmm.
they're doing as much as they can to even have that many people there. And no one got sick. So first off, LeBron, how about you focus on nobody getting sick for however 90 something days you were in the bubble.
Right,
But there's a whole lot of people like Kevin Durant, I think Steph Curry, they didn't even play at all.
right.
So there's a lot of people who are like, I'm not taking the chance. I'm
They
not
opted
going to
out.
play.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's a lot of people who are like, let's not play this season. It's just done. Let's wait till 2021.
Right.
LeBron is like, fuck that shit. I want a ring. I'm getting old. It's like he really fought to play. And he was like, first off, he said, let's play. When everybody was like, let's sit down, he said, let's play. And then when the protests started happening, and then some of these players were like, let's boycott and let's sit at home, or like, let's not play in the bubble, even though we're already here. LeBron somehow got on the phone with Obama, and Obama was like, y'all need to keep playing. Like, I know I'm simplifying it, because Obama definitely told them, like, you guys can make a bigger statement while you're playing, keep the visibility on you,
Right.
slogan, whatever you want to do. But it's like, LeBron, fam, like, the only reason the NBA even made a bubble is because you really pushed to get a season still going. The
Facts.
only reason the season finished is because you really pushed and got Obama on the phone to speak to other players and tell them they can make a difference while playing. So all of this was because you wanted to get out there and play. And then you did, and you won. You added another ring. You told people to respect you. You got AD a ring. Like, you got everything you wanted, and now you're mad because what? You couldn't have fans there as well? Like, my guy, you're a little self.
Relax.
Yeah, bro. I'm sorry to be going in on LeBron because I liked his win. Butler will get one soon.
Yeah, fact.
But at the same time, I wasn't mad at LeBron's win, but like, you whining right now, G. Like,
Yeah.
what you want
Hey,
us to do, fam?
you top of the game, man. Relax.
Exactly.
But speaking of top of the game, man, look, it got pushed back, right? We talked about it previously, but it's supposed to happen November 28th. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones.
Come on, man. The fight we all been waiting for.
Hey, that's what we've
The
been
fight I
waiting
hope
for.
still goes down.
I hope so,
The
man.
fight I hope still goes down
It,
because,
it,
like,
it got pushed back, and I feel like Roy Jones
I
with
didn't
that.
hear about a date until you said something just now. So I'm happy that there's still a date.
Hey, I feel like Roy Jones seeing some of Mike Tyson's training videos was like, look, dog, I
Hey,
need a little bit
bro.
more time.
They both went on Rogan. They both spoke to Rogan. You know, Mike went up there sounding crazy like Mike always sounds. You know, he's talking this, zen, that. He's sounding very, um, very wise. You know, all of his quotes are like, mad philosophical. You don't want to mess with a man talking like that, especially a killer like him. You know, he's very lit right now. And then you got Roy Jones went on there and he said, you know what? I hopped at this opportunity. And like you said, he said verbatim himself, he started looking at some old tapes and he was like, he said he was glad the fight got pushed back so he can keep on
Yeah,
getting back up to speed.
yeah,
You
man.
know,
He gonna have to because Mike looking
yeah,
hungry, man.
yeah.
Mike's looking right, and I'm still taking him in the fight. But also, man, we got who? Jake Paul, the YouTuber, right?
Yeah, Jake Paul is still going to be fighting Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson, NBA player, former NBA, former Bull.
Yeah, so
Hold that. You know,
yeah, hold that.
you
We
feel
want to
me?
see that. We want to see that too.
We want to see that too.
Um,
Jake Paul, he's been in the news as of recent. You know,
you been keeping up with UFC?
I have been keeping up with UFC, man. I think that they need to give my boy Neil
You
another
saw
fight.
Khabib?
I saw Khabib,
Yeah,
man.
shout out Magni.
Hey, shout out Magni and shout out Khabib too, man. I mean, his old man passed away, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
rough.
yeah, yeah. It's rough, man. It's
Condolences.
rough. It's
I
funny
think he got
because
a injury in
yeah,
the fight, so
yeah, but
that's going to be a tough injury.
yeah, he retired though, right? Because his old man passed away, and his old man was his trainer. And you know
Hmm.
what? I think this is a classic example because of how somebody's top of their game, doing everything right, right, training, staying focused, and then life just hits them. Life just hits them.
Yeah,
And I think that this is something that 2020 has showed all of us, right? It showed us what's important, right?
yeah,
Family, getting back to yourself, getting back to those you love, getting back to what's important. And that's one thing that Khabib said. He said, look, I'm top of the game. I love fighting. He said, but my father was my motivation. He was my trainer, right? He's like, man, I'm
yeah,
retiring. I'm not fighting without my dad. And I
yeah.
thought, and man, that's admirable, bro. That's like,
That's real. Yeah.
I mean, think about that. What do you think about that? It's like, you know, you got somebody key in
It's
your
real.
life who's
It's
pushing you.
real, man. Because I mean, fighting is a ceiling. There's a ceiling with fighting. Especially with MMA. So boxing, people still get their heads rattled. There's still a chance of CTE. So you can't fight forever. You got to get in and get out. And for people like Tyson, you know, these fights are huge because he hasn't fought in a long time. Uh, so even with McGregor, it's like every time that he signs up or he says he's gonna fight again, it's like, are you good to fight again? Can you fight again? Like, are you ready? Are you in shape? And then when he does get in shape and McGregor does fight, it's like, all right, cool. Like, what's next? Because I heard that McGregor said he signed up to fight Pacquiao or something like that. And it's one of those things like, okay, like McGregor, when are you gonna like? I've heard some fans say, when are you gonna get back to like an actual fight, like not these exhibition like fusion fights. Like, when are you gonna get back to a fight? Because there's gonna be a time when he can't get back to an actual UFC fight just because of his age and physicality. So, for somebody like Khabib to achieve what he did achieve and do it with his father at his side, and his father's now gone. It's one of those things like, what else do I have to prove?
Exactly.
Like, I did this last fight. People know who I am. I've gone up against Connor, and people still debate that. Like, if they had a rematch, how would that go down? So,
Man, I don't think Connor wanted any more parts of Khabib, bro.
hey, that's why he was ducking. That's why he was ducking. Come
You didn't
on,
want. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
man.
Nah, man. Nah, man. I don't think he wanted any more parts.
It's one of those things. Like, what else does Khabib have to do? He's probably at that age too. Like, he probably could do a few more fights, but cap it right now. And he got the money. He good.
Exactly. Exactly,
So,
bro. He made that cash fighting Mayweather. Connor
yes,
did.
sir.
He went and fought Khabib. Khabib put the hands on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, at that
So
point in the
shout
game,
out,
yeah. Shout out Khabib. You right?
shout out Khabib on a good career, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He did his thing. He did his thing.
Absolutely top of the game and really retired. Didn't retire on no fluke shit. He retired a champion. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
And UFC, if you're
Yeah.
listening, give my boy Neil Magny another fight. Y'all tripping.
Yes, sir. He deserves that. He deserves that.
Yeah, he's a ranked fighter. Lock him up. We need
Yes,
that.
sir.
That's
So what's
what.
been going on in football today, man?
Hey, look, man, football is wild. The Buccaneers got blown out.
Yeah.
The Bears got beat up.
Oh,
Uh, Dallas was winning. I'm not sure what the final score was, but you know what? It's good to have the NFL back. The ACC's back. The Big Ten is back. But
yep.
I mean, my concern, bro, in sports right now, because just like we were just talking about, the bubbles, right? The bubbles of basketball,
Yeah.
the bubbles of hockey. Before that, man, how long is it gonna last? You know, COVID cases are rising, and across the
Look,
country.
man, last time I checked, it was Cam Newton was testing positive.
Positive.
Couple, I think a couple Cowboys players had tested positive. Um, it's funny, man. Like, there was somebody got fined so much money for not wearing a mask. There was a coach that got fined so much money for not wearing a mask. Other players getting fined, and it's like, all right, y'all, are y'all just gonna fine away the disease? Because like, they probably spreading it to people before they even knew they were positive.
Right.
So it's like, why don't y'all just do a shutdown? Y'all out here fining people, like, y'all knew what was gonna happen. I mean, I guess that's the way they can try to get people to follow protocol, but shit, bro.
Man, bro, it's
I
wild.
mean,
Like,
you got like, think about like how I keep saying the human nature, right? You had what's his name on the Dodgers when the Dodgers won. This one guy, he was diagnosed, or he tested positive, pulled out mid game. The Dodgers win. Instead of him being like, nah, I'm positive, let me sit where I'm at. The Dodgers, your team just won the World Series. So he broke out of wherever he was and got back on the field, no mask, sitting around his teammates, kissing his wife, no
celebrating,
mask.
no mask.
Come on, dog.
Yeah, yeah. He sat right in the middle, right
A
in the middle.
live a live wire
Yeah, he sat
running
right.
through.
He said right there, center of
Yeah.
his team's championship picture. You know,
Yeah, bro.
asymptomatic, possibly infected for sure, you know, without any hesitation. He jumped right in the middle of the picture, and it's just like, man, and that's the main thing, right? That's the main thing that we're discussing, and all of the medical professionals I've spoken to have said. They're like, it doesn't matter if you're healthy, if you can
Yeah.
make it through it with only 3 or 4 days of quarantine, come down off of your 100 degree temperature. It's who you're affecting
You don't know
around.
how the next person is going to, how it's going to
Exactly.
affect the next person. So
Exactly.
yeah.
You affect your best friend who goes home to his asthmatic son, and now his asthmatic son has COVID-19, and and it's flatlining. Like let's speak let's speak real on real terms right here, man. Like, it's not about you. To think it's just about you is a selfish notion. It's about everybody around you, right? We got social responsibility. You know what? I'm getting tired of saying that because I've said that on about 5 episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got a social responsibility not to infect your neighbor, right? To protect yourself so you don't infect somebody close to you. And I can speak for myself. I got people who are very close to me who have asthma, who have bronchitis, who have pre-existing conditions, and
Yeah.
I would never want to be the cause of them passing away because I was reckless enough to infect them with COVID-19. You see what I'm saying? And I have a responsibility to those I love, and that's the problem,
Yeah.
man. And you would think that these people on these stages who have the limelight, in sports or in Hollywood, they would know this. I mean, a guy like Trump, shit, how many people in his immediate surroundings in the White House had COVID-19, and that's the
Yeah.
president of the United States. This is the top of the government, right? It's the top of the top. I mean, they should know better. Um, damn, I just hope that these lockdowns that these states are trying to implement coming up shortly, because I'm out here in Denver, and I can tell you right now, Denver has just implemented a 10 o'clock curfew, 25% in restaurants. They shut down bars. Like, you know what I mean? To me, that sounds like a mini lockdown. And rightfully so, right? We got the holidays coming up. So what are people gonna do on the holidays? They're gonna congregate in the houses, right? Friendsgivings, Thanksgivings, right? Christmas parties. So it's like, man, we gotta do this right now. Try to flatten the curve again.
Yeah.
Try to stop the spread so people don't infect their families. I mean, this is of the utmost importance. Protect yourself, protect your families. If you don't want to protect yourself, protect your family. You know, I know that out there, especially out there in Washington, right? What's happening out there right now? What are they doing right now to stop the curve?
Shit, bro. I mean, it's, restaurants really haven't opened up like that. I don't know about sitting inside restaurants.
Right.
But you still have outdoor seating. Um, movie theaters haven't opened like that. Uh, Bowling alley, stuff like that. Um, there's places like it's funny because like I did drive around DC because like I'm out in Virginia, right? So like I'm mad close to DC. Obviously, the area, if you've been out here, it's the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So wherever I'm at, it's mad easy to drive over to DC, to drive over to Maryland. It's just that tri-state area where you could live in one state and go to a grocery store in another state. That's how close stuff is. So it's like when I did go to DC, that's where you have more of that city like atmosphere. And, I can only speak for where I'm at. People are still, for the most part, quarantining, staying 6 feet apart, mainly staying in the crib. There's people who do hang out, obviously, but it's like people have those like designated friends that they know are following protocol as well. It's like there's still some unwritten rule of like, everyone's wearing their mask indoors when you go to the grocery store. So for the most part, people are following what they're supposed to do. When I drove through DC, I seen groups of people still walking at night like they was going out to a club. I was like, holy shit! Like, let me follow this. And I'm seeing they were still outdoor dining at night. So I'm like, all right, like, where are people drinking? Because like I'm seeing people walking at night like they were still drinking. I'm seeing there was less people in DC wearing masks. I mean, a lot of people were still wearing masks, but there was still a lot of people, so it's like it's a toss up, In Maryland, I think people are taking stuff seriously, but it goes area by area, and it's a big toss up, like um I haven't heard about any new measures. I think DC might be trying to do a curfew if they don't have one right now. I think they might be trying to do like a 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. curfew,
Hmm.
but it hasn't gotten to the point where they've like, you know, called for, more provisions or anything. It's kind of been at a stable, like, this stuff has stayed closed. Still wear your mask,
Hey, wear your
you
mask,
know,
wash your hands,
do this
protect
and that.
yourselves.
So
That's the message, right? Protect
exactly,
yourselves.
exactly, exactly. You know,
Period,
a
man.
couple storefronts have opened back up
Well,
that were only doing curbside delivery, but it's gonna take some time to get back to normal. It already was taking time to get back to normal. That's the funny thing. But I guess Americans really just got to learn to slow down or just pause, like I know it's going to be hard to like not visit certain family members this year, or it's going to be hard to not go to a movie theater or not do certain things. But if you just do it, you can get back to normal life that much quicker. The more we keep on trying to find these these loopholes and these shortcuts, maybe if we could just chill in your backyard without masks. Well, somebody still caught it. Maybe we could it's crazy. I see people online and I feel like it's always that, but there's rappers still, doing club appearances. These clubs look packed in Atlanta, and it's like,
what's
all
going
right,
on?
well, you can't give that up. So club nights are still going in Atlanta. People I know are still getting sick in Atlanta. Like, yo, I know we didn't talk about it yet, because we've been on politics and sports, but rest in peace, King Von.
Hey, man, I was just about to go there when I was just down in H-Town, right? I went to H-Town a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
Came back and got tested negative, came back. And when I was in H-Town, I saw King Von. I ran into him in the mall because I had stopped by the mall with my boy to pick up something that he ordered. And we saw King Von in there. Come to find out, he was supposed to perform in H-Town at a club. So next thing I know, I come back here. I hear down in Atlanta, right? He had a performance, got into it with another group at a hookah spot, and got killed, right? And it's funny because COVID's out here killing people, but also, right,
people
crime
still
is
killing.
people still killing people, man.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, bro. It's over nothing, right? It's over pride.
Oh yeah.
It's over somebody trying to pop off and somebody trying to act tough. And man, it's a cycle of violence and stupidity that we gotta stop, man. We gotta stop.
And this is the crazy thing. I only brought him up really because we were talking about clubs and how
Right.
some of these clubs are still open. So when I heard he's in ATL leaving a club, my first thing was like, why are you at a club?
Why you at a club?
I guess you got to do your thing, but it's like, damn, bro, like, and that's the thing. Like, as an artist, I guess you got to still be making bread somehow. But I just think if it was me, And maybe, I'm not used to that type of money right now. So like if it was me, I would be okay with just like chilling and
Mhm.
trying to just make money releasing music and doing virtual performances, doing this and that. I don't know if I would find myself in a club if I was a public figure right now. I would be trying to, make as much money as I can, like everyone else. I understand it, but I would be moving differently. Just because of COVID, I wouldn't be in a club. You could have saved your life, maybe just telling yourself, I don't want to be out here in this crowd right now.
Yeah, I mean, how many
But you're,
how
you
many
know,
virtual concerts have we seen?
exactly.
Yeah,
But it's like you can do, endorsements, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do. You can find something else. But, you know, you had an album release party. That's what I think it was, an album release party at the club.
right.
So, it should be a momentous occasion. And this other crew that he got into it with, there's videos of him actually chilling with the rapper, cool. I'm pretty sure it was, Quando Rondo's crew. Not to be, dropping names or anything. It's already knowledge that's out there. But it's like him and Quando seem to be cool. So, you know, what I'm hearing is it was the crews on top of it. It wasn't him and Quando. It was their crews, their entourages. People around them got the egos that
Off the strength of them. That's crazy.
exactly. It's Von's people somehow talking shit to Quando's people, and when they start popping off, they start fighting, right? Now shots start happening. And the reports also had said that when they started fighting and when shots rang out, there were two plainclothes officers that also started firing.
Right. And
So
allegedly they were saying at first that one of the officers might have shot him.
he got hit. Yeah. Honestly, it could still be the truth.
Right.
But in all that racket, it's like, they did it.
Right.
I'm not going to get into that. They did it in all that racket. It's mad easy.
Mad easy.
But let's just believe what they said. So, the cops were there, they shot out, but Vaughn gets hit by, these people from the other crew. There's video of it, of course, in 2020.
Exactly.
Now the people get caught. It's just such a sad situation, man. Like you said, you just saw him, right? And within a few days, gone. I
Gone.
was telling somebody the other day, out of any profession, think of any profession. Like, and maybe I should narrow it down to like any public profession or any like entertainment profession, especially.
Right.
It's just rappers getting gunned down, bro. It's wild. Like,
It's the persona that comes with it, bro.
it's wild. Like, look at Selena, right? She got gunned down by her fan club president, and that's looked at as like a tragedy, right? When has another pop star been gunned down since her? Really? You had John Lennon gunned down by a fan.
Right.
When has the last person like John Lennon been gunned down? Years, right?
Years.
Come on, fam. Like it's fun.
It really don't
It's
happen.
yeah, bro. When have actors been gunned down? Now, there was homie from the Spike Lee films, rest in peace. That was, tragic, but like for the most part, it's literally rappers. It's it's Vaughn, it's Nipsey, it's I think Bankroll a few years ago.
FBG
There
Duck.
Duck. Come on, fam. That's the closest one. That's actually the closest one because like, and I'm not just gonna sit out here and be like, oh man, it's only rappers that get gunned down. And for what reason? Like, let's not play around. Vaughn was a volatile artist. So,
Absolutely.
coming from the drill scene, a lot of your music is going to be about, dead ops and things like that. Um, the first thing I thought was, damn, Duck got gunned down, and I don't know if Vaughn actually said anything about it like that, but like other people around Vaughn were speaking. So the first thing I thought was, this retaliation for that.
Right.
I thought, he spoke with Dex. I'm not saying that Dex would do anything, but like, there's just a lot of people that Vaughn had, spoke about. Ack was asking him about beefs. I didn't even know he had any smoke with this current group that apparently he fought with. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's just so much stuff that it's like, all right, it's one thing that we're just so normalized by these musicians, and you got to think about it like that. Musicians, you're not cops who walk around with guns.
No.
It's not like you're an MMA fighter who like you're kind of bred to be violent in a certain way. You're a musician.
Right.
I know you rap about real stuff, and you have a tendency to want to live those rhymes that you rap or the persona you create for yourself, but it's like your whole persona or your whole profession is to listen to beats and be creative and write poetry. Like, let me just break it down. Like, to be a rapper,
Yeah.
you almost damn near dance on stage if you're one of those guys. I mean, the baby has dances now in Fortnite.
Right.
There's rappers that have their own dances. You're entertainers. You listen to music, and somehow all this violence goes down. But like I said, man, it's a lot of different factors. It's not just the victim rapper. It's these rappers who put themselves kind of, they put that energy around themselves.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a killer, there's a lot of rappers out here who will front like they're killers, and they'll meet a killer who wants to prove them wrong.
I mean,
So
let's just be honest, bro. Like we both from the city, bro. I'm from Chicago. You
yeah,
So we know how it goes, man. I've been out there, and you got to be smarter than the average bear, bro.
yeah,
Once you get that key to the gates, right? Once you get into the rap game and really get into the rap game and really start getting traction, you got to move differently, bro. I don't care what nobody else says. If you's anybody real out here, man, all that shit go out the door once you step in the rap arena as a businessman. So now you're looking at longevity. You know what I'm saying? Now you're looking at longevity, right? You like you said, you're
yeah,
an artist now, right? You're making
yeah,
music, you're writing poetry, and Von wrote his rhymes like poetry. But you gotta let go of that street stuff sometime. I mean, I'm not saying be out here and be a punk or let somebody take advantage of you,
exactly,
but
exactly,
also you got to pick and choose your battles, right? You from Chicago,
yeah,
you a Chicago rapper who got Chicago street cred, and you in another city, right? It ain't about where you from, though. It's where you at. You got to respect places wherever you at, and this goes for anybody. This goes for
yeah,
hustlers. This goes for rappers. This goes for businessmen. You step into another. If you're a businessman from one company, you step into another company to do business. You got to show them that respect. And that's period. You can't be getting into it with people or acting street when you there to do business. You know, um,
yeah,
and that's the thing, man. It's very sad, bro, because you want to see these young brothers from the hood who reach this level of business, have some longevity. You want to see them make money and make music and live long lives and represent the city. But it's tragic when stuff like this happens because it's like, man, who do you have surrounding you who didn't pull your coattail? Like, bro, you know, you the money, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
you got more to live for, bro. Back up. We got this. Or this ain't worth it, bro. Let's bail out. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. You know, it ain't about running or it ain't about ducking. It's about being smart and making wise decisions in what you're doing. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's sad, bro. Like I said, I just saw him in H-Town. I just saw him in Houston, bro. Just saw him in Houston. And one of my guys who's a doctor, he actually called me. He's like, man, bro, didn't we just see him? You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy thing, right? That happens often, right? Like, damn, I just saw that dude. And
Yeah.
man, shout out to his family. R.I.P. to that guy.
Exactly.
Chicago lost a good one.
Yes, sir.
But you know what? 2020 has been a hell of a year. A lot of people have lost a lot of people. Just everybody
Hey.
keep your heads up, wash your hands, wear your face mask.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Alex Trebek as well.
Absolutely. Rest in peace,
You
Alex.
know, he just passed away to
Yeah.
stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So
Yep. 80. I mean, but living a long life, 80 years old, the host of
yes,
Jeopardy.
sir.
Yeah. So I mean, 2020 has been a hell of a year. We got a new president. We're dealing with this COVID-19 virus. So everybody be safe. But shit, we're gonna keep showing up. We're gonna keep showing out. LeBron, take it easy. Chill out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll get back to you. We're gonna have a guest on the next episode, and of course we're gonna cover this Tyson and Roy Jones fight. But you know what it
Yes,
is.
sir.
It's the Cod.
Episode 20. We out.
We out. Peace.